Hello and welcome to another ration review. Now this time I will be reviewing my first British ration. It will be menu number 1 of the standard operational ration packs. Now before we continue, I'd like to say that maybe you noticed that I'm trying to speak with a more British accent. Since English isn't really my first language, whether I speak with an American accent or a British accent, in reality, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just more used to speaking with the American accent than the British accent. But since this is a British ration, I might as well lean a bit more towards the British accent. I have acquired all 20 rations with this same production series, so they're all from, I believe, May 2016. And the reason this box is standing on its side is simply because this is the only place where the menu number is visible, this sticker here. You only see this on this side. So they do change these every now and then, not like a whole year and then the next year the menu will change, but they change them every now and then. And I suspect that all the 0516 ones have the same contents. Normally the box looks like this. You might also have noticed that this one is already opened. Well, that was me, just to make sure there's nothing obviously wrong with them. Well, enough talking about this. Now I think it's time that we cracked into this, because I haven't had my breakfast yet, and this is a 24-hour ration. I don't actually know exactly how many calories one of these contains, but I am pretty sure that it's more than I need. So I will be having breakfast and one dinner today, and then I'll have one dinner tomorrow. I will hopefully be reviewing all 20 of these menus, but probably not, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive like this, because I will be doing other nations' rations as well. Let's get started with this. So this just opens like this. However, I think we should go through this the way I usually do it, by setting the box aside and inspecting the components one by one. Also, please keep in mind that since this is my first British ration, I suspect that this review will be a bit more lengthy than the subsequent ones. So, the contents. The first thing I find is this sheet that is a feedback form where you can leave feedback to the producer and just let them know what you think, and you can win some stuff. It does say here, menu 1, vegetarian. It doesn't say that on the box. I knew this because it says on this, there is a list of all 10 menus included in the case. And that list actually says that menu 1 is a vegetarian menu. I'll just put this aside because it's not really interesting. So what do we have here? We have a rather large accessories bag, I'd say. It's about slightly larger than an MRE bag, I'd say. We'll be looking at this in a bit more detail in a moment. Next up, we have a fruit-flavored energy drink powder, orange flavor. I think this one is what's considered to be the isotonic beverage in this ration. There are more beverages, but only one of them is explicitly listed as isotonic. In this ration, this is the one. Other beverages are tropical flavored drink powder with sugar and sweetness. And the metal foil makes these bags a bit hard to film. We also have Tutti Frutti flavored drink powder with sugar and sweetness. We have another beverage. It's a different looking bag. This one actually says produced for Vesti Foods, and this one says packed in EU for Vesti Foods. I'm not sure what the difference is, but clearly they're different. In any case, this one is raspberry. We have one more, which is a hot chocolate drink mint flavor. Another interesting item in this ration is the Fruit Explosion mixed fruit puree. So apparently they have the same packaging, all of these, and the color of the cap determines what flavor it is, and they're all printed on the back with the orange cap meaning apple. Next up, we've got some cheddar cheese flavored spread, and this looks like the US ones. We've also got a package of smooth peanut butter. We've got a packet of roasted and salted peanuts. We got one of the main entrees here, which is bean and pasta salad. We've got a bag of plain rice. We have some natural muesli with milk. We have a bag of chickpea curry. So I think the chickpea curry goes with the plain rice, so these will be stacked on top of each other. We also have a mango cake. There's a small oatmeal block here. A tiny bottle of Tabasco. And finally, a packet of paper tissues. And I almost forgot these ones. We've got some sesame bars. And that's it for this ration. Before I know what's in this, I'm not sure I will be able to determine what to use for what meal. So let's go through this accessories bag as well. If I understood this correctly, the accessories bags in all the rations are more or less identical. I could be wrong, we'll see about that when I've done some more reviews. However, this is the accessories bag we're going to look at. Let's see what it contains. Now the bag itself is a large Ziploc bag which you can use for storing stuff, used or unused or garbage or whatever, which is quite handy. Now starting with two of these wet naps. However, these are a bit stuck together. Now these are supposed to be two antibacterial wipes. This wet nap is no longer wet. I think that the contents of this antibacterial wipe has gotten to the sugar and other things in this. I'll show you what I mean. Because in this accessories bag we have 4 packs of white sugar. Now, these, they've solidified. They have been absorbing moisture from somewhere, and this bag to begin with, this is not sealed, and since they're all packaged in a cardboard box, there's not really anything to prevent these from absorbing moisture through the box, through the bag, and into the sugar. Whether this is caused by a leaking antibacterial wipe or not, I don't know. We also have 4 of these creamers, and these seem to be a bit more powdery still. They have a pressure as well. When I squeeze them, you can see that it contains some air in there, so maybe these are actually sealed. We've also got a Nescafe Original Instant Coffee. We've got a Dough Egberts Instant Coffee, another brand of instant coffee in this for some reason. And naturally, we've got English breakfast tea. And we've also got Thai Fu Great British Tea. We've also got 6 water purification tablets. And we have 3 packs of chewing gum. First one being white peppermint, second one is sweet menthol, and the third one is strong mint. We've got some matches. I guess this is the stormproof matches with a striker. And finally we have a spork. Not the one with fork in one end and spoon in the other, but combined type of the spoon with teeth, basically. Now I will be trying to figure out what to have for breakfast, and I'll get back to you once I've decided. Correction, the orange cap doesn't mean apple, because they all contain apple. The orange cap actually means apple peach. Alright, I think I've finally managed to at least decide what to have for breakfast. There are so many beverages. In fact, all the beverages, like the Tutti Frutti and the isotonic and the other beverages, combined with this fruit puree, just those beverages, they amount to over 1000 kilocalories. So just drinking all of those would provide somebody with half the calories for a full day. Alright, let's get started. Alright, finally, welcome to breakfast. Let's begin. I'll start out by saying I've put some water on the stove to boil for the tea and the coffee. Meanwhile, there is another thing we need to prepare. The natural muesli. And it says add approximately 100 milliliters of water and mix well and allow it to stand for approximately 1 minute before consuming. So we've got some muesli here. It smells fine. Very anonymous smell, but not expecting much. I'm using a spoon from the kitchen this time. So I'll add in the water, mix this around. So unfortunately this bag can't stand up on its own, so I'll just have to set this aside for a moment. However, it should be quick. It says only 1 minute, so the wait shouldn't be that long. I did also pick one of these Tutti Frutti flavored drink powder with sugar and sweeteners for breakfast. Mix contents with 500 milliliters of cold water. Serve immediately. 500 milliliters. Yeah, that's sort of a Tutti Frutti smell. Let's pour some up straight away. There we go. Sort of pale yellow color. So here we go, the first British drink. That's quite nice. It's not overly sweet. You do feel some of that artificial sweetener, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I'm going to be having some of these peanuts as well. Most of these components seem to be from Beyond the Beaten Track, and there's also nutrition values in French, English, and for some reason Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, which is convenient for me. Not that I have problems understanding the English one, but still. We have a 50-gram bag. That was a nice hiss, almost like a pop. Let me try a couple of these. Quite big ones here actually. Should be fine. Yep, just like any other store-bought salted and roasted peanuts. Nothing spectacular, but nothing wrong with them. I also picked this sesame bar that contains what looks like 3 thin bars inside it. 50 grams, 51% of it is sesame, the rest is syrup and sugar and honey. So they're a bit stuck together. I'm gonna have to try to pry these apart without breaking them. And that worked. So I'll save this for later. Gonna give that a taste. Sesame candy is quite different from most other nuts or candies. And when you bite into them, I mean, they're very sticky, as you could tell earlier, because they were stuck together. But when you bite into one of these, there's a crunch, and then as you start chewing, it takes about a couple of seconds, and then you're hit with that sesame flavor. I'm not going to say it's delicious, but I'll call it good and perfectly fine. I think this muesli should be good now. It's been a couple of minutes. So let's pour this out on the tray. That's all of it. Lots of pumpkin seeds here. I mean, percentage-wise, it's not that much, but since they're so dark, they stand out quite a lot. This is a bit more like porridge than I'm used to. I'm used to having lots of milk with my muesli. So I'll just have a spoon like this. It smells about what you would expect from a skimmed milk powder, freeze-dried muesli. Very mild smell. We'll see what it tastes like. Quite a lot of oat flavor in this, and the consistency is a bit similar to glue, because I think you should add more water to this. But before I do anything else, I'm gonna have to go get the water for the tea and the coffee, because I think that's boiling now. So I'll be right back. So here we are with water for the coffee, around 150 milliliters. It doesn't say how much you should use, but that's usually a good amount. Slightly more for the tea, around 200 milliliters. So let's begin with the coffee. Dow Egberts instant coffee, made in the Netherlands. See what this looks like. So this looks like some powder, or looks like little granules, but not powder, not like these little kind of Nescafe pellets. Maybe this has been absorbing some moisture as well. I'm sure it's fine. Well, definitely smells like any other instant coffee. I'm not going to taste it right now. It's a bit too hot, I think. Instead, let's put this English breakfast tea bag in this water here. Just a close-up of that one. and the back. So I'll just put that in here. That should sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. Well then, I better get on with breakfast. So I think I'll just have this the way it is, and I'm sure this breakfast will appear again and I'll have another chance to add more water to it, and we'll see if that's better then. But for now I'm going to use the recommended 100 milliliters. It's a bit too much of a glue-like texture. It's very sticky, but I think I'll survive. Alright, see you soon. Well, I'm now convinced that I'm sure there needs to be more water added to this. I got up and I walked to the kitchen, and I just thought I need to add more water to this because it's becoming unbearable. It's like eating wallpaper paste. But I thought no, I decided I'm going to use the suggested amount of water, so I went back without any water and finished it. There's got to be more water in this next time, if you don't want it to taste like glue. Now I'll get this tea bag out. I'm sure it's been over 5 minutes, but that's fine. Right, so these antibacterial wipes, I think this one must be compromised. I'm gonna open it anyway, just to see what it looks like. So it says alcohol-free antibacterial. Interesting. So if this has leaked into the sugar, and yes, that's just bone dry. It looks like your standard tissue otherwise. So whatever humidity was in this is probably now in this sugar. This sugar, no, you had to see this. Yeah, so this sugar, it's been absorbing something, probably some weird chemicals in them. It's a bit of luck that I'm not using sugar in my coffee or tea normally. Speaking of which, I shall now taste this tea. So this is the English breakfast tea. That smells really nice. Yeah, that smells English. I may have left the bag in for a little too long, but it's a bit bitter, but I like it. That's good tea. Now for the Dow or Dow? I have no idea. Egbert's instant coffee. Smells like the slightly burnt instant coffee. Let's give that a taste. It was surprisingly smooth actually, so while it does have the smell of an instant coffee, it definitely doesn't have a lot of this burnt flavor that you do feel most of the times. This was good. While this isn't my favorite, obviously instant coffees are not favorites usually, but as far as they go, this one is actually pretty good. Well, I guess that's all of breakfast. It's not much to talk about really. It was this muesli that I'm sure this needs more water. It didn't really have a lot of flavor either, so I can't really say that I like this particular muesli a lot. Maybe it gets better with more water. Not very good as mueslis go with just the recommended amount of water. Peanuts, nothing to say. Like any other roasted peanuts with some salt on. Fresh, no problems. The tea was delicious. English breakfast tea. Gives you this special feeling of breakfast. Just there's something about this smell and taste that just The coffee was smooth and nice, not as burnt as I thought it would be, even if it's an instant coffee. This sesame bar, very sweet and sticky, and initially doesn't have a lot of flavor when you bite into it. After a couple of seconds you get hit by this massive sesame flavor, which you may or may not like. I think it's okay. I wouldn't die for it, but certainly I would eat it if I got it in my ration. And this, not sure what to call it. It's just called Tutti Frutti flavored drink with sugar and sweetness. So they don't really claim this as an isotonic, but if I say that it tastes like an isotonic, you know what I mean. It's these horrible sweeteners. It's probably sweet already. I'm not sure why they need to add that, because I'm convinced that just contributes to this bad aftertaste. Basically, it just tastes like Tutti Frutti, some artificial fruit flavors that I can't really put my finger on. Very light flavor. It's not super sweet, so quite refreshing, but not really what I'd call tasty. Still, it's fine enough to drink, no problems. So I guess that's it for the breakfast. I'm just gonna round this off now, and I'll get back to you later today when it's time for dinner. After I've had this, I'm just gonna try the chewing gum as well, but I'll finish this first and just do the chewing gum taste test afterwards. All that's left now is this V6 chewing gum. And this is the sweet menthol with xylitol and a source of fluoride, it says. Let's see what they're like. 2 pieces in the bag, nothing strange. Very soft, easy to chew, fresh menthol flavor, not much to say about it really. Good for freshening up your breath after having this breakfast. And with that, I guess I'll just have to say breakfast. Well, not entirely satisfied with this muesli, but we'll be looking forward to dinner instead and see what that has to offer. And I'll see you later then. Alright, so now it's time for the dinner portion of this ration. For dinner, I will be having this main entree, which is chickpea curry. Quite a big retort pouch, 300 grams with 411 calories, but that's not everything, because with it I will also be having plain rice, 160 grams with an additional 317 calories. So these 2 bags need to be heated up in boiling water for around 8 minutes, I think it says. So I'll go and put these in boiling water and I'll be right back. The rest of the things that I'm going to be using for this meal, it's not that many things actually. First, I'm going to mix this raspberry beverage powder. So this is 45 grams of a beverage-based powder. That should be mixed with 375 milliliters of cold water and stir or shake. So this 375 mils of cold water, I've got that right here. I will be using this plastic spork that was included with the ration. So let's open this up and get it mixed. I'm not sure if it's pink or purple, but somewhere in between. It's supposed to be sugar, blah, 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 blah. It just says flavoring here as acid. Well, so that turned into a lovely color. Let's give that a quick taste. It smells, I'm not sure if it smells natural or artificial, but I'll give it a taste right now. This has a really good flavor. It has a bit of sour berries, like fresh berries acidity, as well as the raspberry flavor. So it really tastes like you're drinking a very diluted raspberry juice. Seriously, this is really good. Right, I gotta save this because I can just drink all of it. The only remaining thing really I have for this meal will be this oatmeal block. It's a nice piece of cookie here. It smells like a good biscuit really. It contains wheat flour and whole grain oats, so seems to be a very nice cookie indeed. I was going to have this as a dessert, but I'll cheat and give this a quick taste while we're waiting for the main to heat up. Maybe just a little bit more. This was very good. I suspect that they're not using a lot of fat in this one. I'm not sure, maybe the fat will go rancid after a while and maybe it's easy just to leave out a lot of fat. There's some palm oil in this and antioxidants, but no butter or something like that. And you can taste it because it doesn't have that amazing full buttery taste, but it definitely tastes like a very good wheat and oat cookie. Now after dinner I will be having this Thai food tea together with this biscuit. What am I supposed to do with the peanut butter and the cheddar cheese spread? It doesn't really fit with sesame bars, right? And it surely doesn't fit with this oat and wheat cookie. So I don't think I'm going to be using those because I have no idea what to use them with. I'm hoping that the mains have been heating up properly now. See, this label for the rice didn't really pass the waterproof test. So let's check out this plain rice. Nice amount of rice in there. Yeah, and that just smells of rice basically. So I'll just get this on the tray instead. We can speculate afterwards. So I'm choosing the large compartment here because I suspect that maybe this one even will be too small. It's a nice little pillow here of rice. Feels quite warm, maybe a tad dry. I'll just go ahead and taste some rice just like this without anything else, just to see what it tastes like. So here's the plain rice. Well, even for being rice, I think it's missing something in the flavor. Maybe it's just been treated a bit differently than the way I'm used to. But perhaps it gets better once you put the rest of the main entree on there. This chickpea and curry. So I'm greeted by a very, very pleasant curry smell. So I'll try to fit this on top of this rice. I'm not sure everything will fit. I don't think it will actually, but here we go. Oh, that's a bit much. Yep, that's basically everything. So this looks good. So here we see a lot of chickpeas and the occasional, I guess these are tomatoes and diced potato pieces. So let's just taste these chickpeas a bit quickly first. I guess these are the main ingredients in this. So I could already tell that the sauce has quite a good kick to it. I think I'll just take a spoon with a little bit of everything. Let's see what this is like. Yeah, definitely some Indian style flavoring here. And you could say whatever you want. If you like chickpeas or not, or if you like rice or not, if you like the seasoning and the spices or not. This feels just like any other meal you could get in a restaurant or from, homemade or something. This sauce, it has so many flavors and it's so rich and it's just flavor everywhere. It's got quite a good kick to it, not too much. So now I'm just going to eat this and really enjoy it because this is really nice and I want to eat it while it's hot. And there's a lot here, so I'm going to be full up. Now I'll eat this and I'll be back when I'm done. Alright, I was going to stop eating for a while and talk about the ingredients, but I just kept going and I just realized I have to tell you this before I'm done with it because it's very hard to describe it, and if I try to tell you the name of a dish that I might be wrong about, then that would be misleading. But if you just consider the ingredients, it's got cream coconut, tomatoes, tomato puree, corn flour, red chili, ginger, coriander, chili powder, cumin seeds, ground coriander, paprika and cardamom. It's good. Alright, so my prediction was that I was going to be full up and that came true. Now here's the boiling water. Well, it's not boiling anymore, but here's the hot water for the tea. And I'm going to use this Thai food tea. Inside we find a tea bag. In it goes, and that smells like an ordinary black tea. So I'll let that sit for a few minutes. Now this raspberry drink, I can't really get over how good it is because it's, I mean, you gotta try this sometime. This is really amazing. Hats off to you, Great Britain. And while we're waiting for the tea, I might as well just talk about this main entree again. Again, the rice was nothing to write home about, but it was just rice, right? It was fine, it didn't surprise me, and it did the job. And this chickpea curry, if somebody made this for me at home and just gave it to me, I would have no idea it was from a pouch. It's not possible to tell. This was really good for being a vegetarian dish, and even if you're not vegetarian or like vegetarian food, you will appreciate the flavors coming from this because they are real and they were good. Now I think it's time to have this tea. Yeah, it smells like a black tea. Yeah, it tastes like a black tea. It's not much more you can ask for. Now some oatmeal block. Why don't they just call it biscuit or cookie or something? This is actually really good. It's not very sweet, but you can taste there's some sweetness in this. It's a good biscuit really, and it goes perfectly well with this tea. I think I'll be skipping this V6 chewing gum. I've got 3 bags in this ration, 3 different flavors, more or less the same, all of them, and they're fresh, so I'll skip this one. So, 2 meals down, 1 to go, and I will see you again tomorrow for lunch. Good night. Alright, welcome back to lunch, or honestly, in my case, this will be brunch. Let's get to it. Let's begin by mixing this fruit flavored energy drink powder. So here's an example of this orange isotonic drink and one of the other regular drinks that I have left. This calls for half a liter of water to be mixed with this powder. Slightly orange tint to it. I guess that will increase once I mix it with the water. And here we have it. Let's pour a glass of this. It looks like a regular orange isotonic drink, but let's give it a taste. Yeah, there's something about this that makes it maybe not just a sweet drink, artificial orange-ish. You don't really expect it to taste of orange anyway. It's not very sweet, it's rather refreshing, but has a bit of a weird taste. I guess that's the isotonic drink thing. So what else do we have here? We have this bean and pasta salad. So it's 300 grams of mostly water, butter beans, tomatoes, red kidney beans and pasta. And I assume this one should be served cold, not heated up. At least I'm not going to warm this up. Those are some huge beans there. Strong smell of tomatoes and paprika. I'm going to put this here. I think it's got enough room in there. So what can we see here? We see big beans, some red beans, we got corn, some other various vegetables. I guess this is paprika, tomato sauce, and there's supposed to be, alright, I see them. They're a bit hard to tell apart, but there's macaroni in here as well. So that's the pasta part of this salad. A couple of quite large beans and a smaller one and some corn as well. I'll just give that a taste right now. Tastes pretty good. It's a rather mild seasoning in this one compared to the curry I had last night. There is still a bit of a sting that comes afterwards. It's not very much at all. I'm not sure, I'm hesitating now whether I should have actually heated this up or not. Flavors usually jump out a bit more when you're warming your food up. But I'm gonna go with it and have another bite. Yeah, well, overall, it's got very much, obviously, flavors of beans, and while they don't have a lot of intense flavor, there's quite a lot of them. The corn, I don't notice it. Basically, it tastes like beans in pasta with some spicy tomato paprika sauce. I have to leave this alone now because there's still more stuff to open here. We've got this mango cake. So it's a 75-gram mango cake. Maybe it's similar to the cakes you get in the MREs. I have no idea. So I'll open this now and find out. Ooh, that was sticky. You can see that nice shiny surface. This has a partially unpleasant smell to it, like some sort of mix between shelf-stable cake and mango. Let's see what it looks like inside. So that just looks like any other soft cake. It's very moist still, and obviously it's very greasy and sticky here on the surface, you can see. So let's give this a taste. Well, first impression, very soft, very moist, with lots of sugar. This mango flavor, I'm not sure, maybe there is some mango in here. The most obvious flavor I could feel was a bit of this stinging preserved cake flavor that I don't really enjoy that much, so a bit of a disappointment here, but I'll try it again. Very intense flavor from the sugar, but not much else. It's a weird one. Now I'm all greasy and fatty here, my fingers are sticky. So now would be a good time to test out this other alcohol-free antibacterial wipe. So this one's still moist and nice, I think. Doesn't smell of anything really. Completely neutral smell. What else do we have here? We've got this Fruit Explosion mixed fruit puree. and orange means apple, peach. So let's see what this is. Just contains apple and peach, equal parts basically, sugar and some ascorbic acid. So let's put some on the spoon here to show you what it looks like. So very smooth and runny. Definitely smells of peach, this one. Let's try it out. I'm going to try some more just from this little bag directly. That was just delicious. This is just apple and peach puree basically with some sugar added. 47% apple, 42% sugar, so you've got already 89% of the ingredients there. So the rest is basically sugar. It's just fruit puree. It's the best way to describe it. So the only two remaining items I have now are this Nescafe and this hot chocolate drink mint flavor. So this is a cocoa-based beverage powder. As you can see, this should be mixed with half a liter of hot water, and I've got water already on the stove, so I'll go get that and see what we've got. So I'm going to use this big cup right here. Now let's see what we have here. Some nutritional information on Tienoch. Fine cocoa powder in there. Smells like chocolate mint candy. Can I give this a taste now, or should I wait for it to cool down slightly? I think I'll wait just a little bit because it's still steaming hot. Right, so I'm done with this pasta salad. Like with the dish yesterday, it turns out that this one also contains chili, and you could definitely taste that after having a couple of spoonfuls. Definitely you could feel this chili kind of sting in your mouth. I think the chocolate has cooled down enough for me to give that a taste now. Big nice hot cup of cocoa with mint flavor. That's quite unusual. This was really good. I've never had mint flavored chocolate as a drink before, only in candies, so my brain gets a bit messed up by drinking this candy flavor, but this is nice. Right, so now I'm gonna enjoy this mint flavored hot chocolate and put some water on for the coffee so I can finish off with that. Right, so I finished all of these items except the mango cake. I just can't make myself eat more of that. It's not horribly disgusting, but I feel that I don't really need to eat all of it, so I'm not going to force myself. The remaining thing I have now is this coffee. It's just Nescafe Original, nothing special, made by Nestle in the UK, soluble coffee, instant coffee. Looks just like the other one, but I suspect it maybe could have absorbed some moisture from the other bag there. They were both fine. This is fine, the other one was fine. So here's this Nescafe. That's a good coffee. Very smooth flavor, and the instant coffee flavor and the smell is there, but it's not annoying. Could be the best instant coffee I've had so far, actually. I'm gonna round this off now and just talk about quickly this mint flavored chocolate drink. This was really good. I liked this a lot. It had a good balance of sweetness and cocoa. If you put too much mint in this, I think it could get kind of disgusting very quickly. But this had a very nice balance. The mango cake, well, that was basically a sugar cake, intensely sweet and a bit of mango flavor. It had this nasty preservatives aftertaste. It's not really bad, but I would say I don't like it. This fruit explosion puree though, was amazing, because this is basically just apples, peach, a bit of sugar, some ascorbic acid, just fruit in a bag. Amazing. Now the main entree, the bean and pasta salad, I think that having just beans and pasta turns boring very quickly, and I had the same problem with the dish yesterday. It was really good, but it was vegetarian and I usually miss something in them. If you eat a lot of beans, I think you know what I mean. Large beans, lots of beans, it gets kind of like grainy and floury almost. The sauce was good, and it had chili, so it had a bit of a kick to it. Beans and pasta with tomato sauce with chili doesn't quite cut it for me personally, but I'd still have to say that this was very good. The coffee was very smooth, very nice, and probably the best instant coffee I've had in a ration so far, as I can remember at least. This isotonic orange flavor drink didn't really taste a whole lot of orange, to be honest. It tasted like something artificial that tries to be orange. Not nearly as delicious as the raspberry I had yesterday. That was divine, you know. However, this was totally acceptable, easy to drink, no problem. Now for the last part in this meal. Strong mint dental chewing gum. Again, we've got 2 pieces in here. Nothing special. Slightly interesting to note maybe is that these contents on the back, they are listed in English and Danish, Swedish and Norwegian. These are the same type of gums that you also find in the Scandinavian rations. The chewing gum was perfectly fine, soft, good mint taste, but I wonder why they call it strong mint when in the ingredients it says, well, you can't see it because I torn it, but it did say peppermint flavor. So why don't they call it peppermint on the front then, instead of strong mint? Who knows? Finishing this, I have a couple of things to say. These are the 3 items that I didn't use. The cheddar cheese. I have no idea what I'm supposed to use this with. Same with this smooth peanut butter. Just open it and eat it when I'm on the move. This won't be used either. Finally, there were a lot of beverages in this ration. It's a really good choice and selection of different drinks for you, and so I have this one extra and I'm gonna save it with the peanut butter and the cheese spread. Alright, so I guess this concludes my first review of my first UK ration. I have to say that I'm very pleased with the contents and the ingredients. The mango cake, no, sorry, did not enjoy that. I tried and I tried again, and it just didn't work. The remainder of this entire ration, I mean, it was all fantastic. This was menu number 1 of the UK Operational Ration Pack, or ORP as they're also known as. So I hope you enjoyed all of this, because I certainly did. In particular the raspberry drink. Alright, until next time, take care, and I'll see you when it's time for the next review. Bye!